Okay, everyone, I believe we are live. Hello, hope we're all doing well. I am Chris, and yeah, this is just going to be, I guess, the sequel, the long-awaited sequel to my audio tests and live streaming tests on here. For anyone who isn't aware, I've been having problem. I've been using StreamYard. Gotta get my words out. StreamYard for a number of years now, and only recently on my last few videos. If you guys have seen them, there's been a hell of a lot of lag problems, audio cutting in and out, video lagging, and to the point where you basically can't watch my videos because they're just utterly unwatchable. Um, After that night, after I did the test, I watched the video back and it was still pretty bad. So I've found this now. I'm currently working off Streamlabs. I've got the YouTube chat on my right, so hopefully if we get some people coming in, I'll be able to see if people are watching. Please feel free to comment as well. This is going to be a learning process for me as well. As I say, it's a brand new streaming software that I'm using. And I need to know if I can bring up YouTube comments. I need to work on how to bring banners up on the screen. I think you can do a lot with Streamlabs. You can really kind of kit it out. You can really customize it and modify it to, your preferred needs and everything like that. But this is really just to see if I've still got any lag problems, any video stuttering, because the new Mission Impossible film's out tomorrow, and I'm going to be going to see it, and I really want to do a review on it. But I don't want to do a review on it if I'm going to have the same kind of problems that I've been having with StreamYard. And I don't know why I've been having problems with StreamYard. It seems like it's really hit and miss. When I did my Transformers Rise of the Beasts review, which I think I did at like 4 p.m. after I saw that, it was absolutely fine. There was no lag. It was just like old times. It was great. And it's a shame to leave StreamYard as well, because I think it's really decent. I pay the monthly membership for it. And yeah, like the customization's great, and I'm used to it because I've been using it for years. But if I have got to jump ship, then the time is now, because genuinely I don't know what's causing it. It's, as far as I'm aware, it's not an internet issue with me, because I'm right next to my internet router. My download speed, whilst not incredibly fast, it's like 35 megabytes per second or something like that. Upload speed is like 9 or something like that. It's the fastest it's ever been, believe me, and I've had no issues before. Part of me thought maybe it's this new computer that I've got when my old one died and I've got a new computer, but if anything, this new computer's way more advanced, almost a decade more advanced than the previous computer that I had, so I don't see that being an issue. As far as I know, it's just some kind of bitrate issue, I think, is what's been causing it. But I did a really, really short test on here before. I did it as a private video, I believe. Or no, actually, no, I did go public with it. But it was really late at night. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I only went live for a couple of minutes. And I watched it back, and it seemed to work fine. So I'm relying on you guys at home. If you are tuning in tonight, please do let me know what this video is like. I'll probably delete this video afterwards. I won't keep it around on the channel or anything like that, but I will watch it back just to make sure that we're all good on it. I don't know how long I'm going to be live for. This is really just a test, so I suppose really I could end it here, but I'm going to let it go for just a little bit longer, because I want to see if there are any issues the longer that I stream and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, if you're tuning in, please do drop a comment. Let me know what movies you guys have been watching, or any TV shows. Honestly, the last movie that I watched was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, unfortunately. I don't think I've watched anything since then. I'm trying to rack my brain to see if I have or not, but I'm pretty sure that was the last thing that I saw at the cinema. Until tomorrow, I've got Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's my most anticipated film of the year. I cannot wait for it. There's been a lot of big blockbusters failing financially. The Flash, I think I've seen, is touted to be the biggest loss for Warner Brothers in the history of the company, in terms of their films and what they've put out. So that's hilarious. Dial of Destiny's not doing great at all. It's what's it called? Elemental isn't doing great. Disney is just on like a whole slew of flops at the moment, and things that have been really underperforming at the box office. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Tom Cruise can come in clutch with Mission Impossible. I think that You know, those films already make a lot of money anyway. They've definitely got their fans, but I think especially with the added boost of Top Gun Maverick, I think this is going to be I think this is going to be a big one, and it'll be hilarious to see, you know, Disney failing and Warner Brothers failing, and then Tom Cruise just coming out and hopefully making just a really entertaining movie where there's no like forced politics in there or anything like that, or trying to push a message or anything like that, and it's just an entertaining go to the movies type film, which is exactly what film should be. So I'm really looking forward to it. I didn't realize how long the movie was on for. I think it's on for something like 3 hours. I checked. I've got the app on my phone, my local Odeon app, and it tells you what time the start time is and what the expected finishing time is, and it's usually bang on the money. And I'm in there for like 3 hours 10 minutes, 3 hours 20 minutes, so it's going to be long, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think this year is just going to be filled with just like really good part 1 movies, isn't it? That you're going to have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is part 1 of a 2-part story. Well, I know it's a trilogy, but you know what I mean. It ends on a cliffhanger. It's going to lead directly into the second part of that story, and Dead Reckoning is going to be exactly the same. So I hope it's good. I really hope it's good, because I tell you what, guys, I can't take any more bad movies this year. I'm done. I'm like so tuned out of movies right now. I think a lot of people are in Hollywood at the moment. I think Hollywood are panicking, but they have just been putting out absolute pig swill into the cinemas, and I'm done. I'm tired. I'm a broken man. God damn it. There has to be a film that's really special to really get me into the cinema screen now. You won't see me reviewing any more Marvel films. I'm done with Marvel. I'm kind of done with superhero movies, to be honest, but you know, I still went to see The Flash because Michael Keaton. But yeah, what's your guys' take on this? How are you finding the current 2023 slate of movies? And I'm not counting the Oscar movies, the Academy Award films that we had, you know, towards the beginning of the year, around January, February kind of time. Yes, they were released this year, and yeah, there were a lot of good ones. Tar, for example, was fantastic. I really need to watch that film again, actually. The Banshees of Inisherin, but those were all technically... It's a weird thing with the Oscars, because we get them so late in the UK, but a lot of those films are all of them are 2022 movies and released in various film festivals and things like that months before. So I never really count, although I saw them this year, I don't count them as 2023 movies. I always see them as, oh, that was last year's stuff. So if we're talking about I'm going to bring up a list. I'm going to bring up a list of movies that we've had in 2023 so far, and I'm going to see which ones I genuinely really liked. And this is going to be interesting, because I really haven't... I've completely forgotten what films have come out this year. It's hilarious. I've seen a few people viewing and jumping on, so please do let me know if the stream and the video and everything's running okay. Let me know if there's any lag or any blips or anything like that. If there still is on here, guys, I genuinely don't know what to do. Help me out here. What can I do? Here we go. 2023 films. So let's go back to January. Okay, so I saw Megan. That was fine. I thought it was entertaining enough. It was funny, but I'm not going to go out of my way to like watch that film again. But I suppose I didn't mind that one. But if we're talking, you know, great films that really stay with you, well, chances are you probably ain't going to find it in the month of January, because January usually doesn't have that many great movies out, does it? Okay, we're into February now. I'm trying to see if I watched anything good in February. And granted, I haven't seen every single film, obviously, that's come out. So, oh, March we had Creed 3. That was such a letdown for me. I was really let down by Creed 3. And I already kind of went into it thinking, well, Sylvester Stallone isn't in this one, so it's not going to feel the same. But even beyond that, it didn't feel as well written. It actually felt kind of rushed in some ways. The production looked quite cheap. I don't know if some of it was filmed during lockdown, but the boxing scenes especially looked very digital, very much all on a green screen, and it was over stylized. And yeah, I wasn't keen on Creed 3. You know what, actually, out of all of the Rocky films and all of the Creed films, it's probably my least favourite. I know a lot of people shit on Rocky 5. Rocky 5 is probably towards the bottom of my list as well, but there's still a lot of things that I love about Rocky 5. and it also has one of the best scenes out of the entire Rocky franchise. So I don't know, I still have a soft spot in my heart for Rocky 5, and I think there's way more heart to it and charm than Creed 3, to be honest, but hey, that was just me. So again, not great on that one. It was one that I was looking forward to. Then you had a Warner Brothers flop, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which I still didn't see. I actually didn't mind the first Shazam film when it came out, but again, I've never gone back to it and watched it again. John Wick Chapter 4 was an entertaining movie. I enjoy going to see them at the cinema, but John Wick 4 has completely jumped the shark now. And it feels like a video game. It's absolutely ridiculous, the stuff that he's surviving. There is no tension, there is no peril in any moment in the John Wick films now. If you go back to that first John Wick film, he gets thrown off like a first story balcony, and he lands on his back, and he actually feels like he's beaten up, and he's struggling, and he's like shambling. And then you get to the end of 3, and he's getting shot multiple times. He's falling off skyscrapers. He falls down entire flights of stairs. He gets hit by cars multiple times, and he's fine. He's just fine. He's just made of rubber, and all's good. So it's lost that grittiness for me. Is the action still well choreographed? And yeah, it is. The action scenes are entertaining as a spectacle, but it's lost that rawness to it. It's lost that actual, this character's actually getting beaten up. When you watch the first Die Hard film, John McClane and his he's walking on glass, and throughout the course of that night you really get that sense of how beaten up he is and how he's given it his all to get through it. And I like shit like that. I like to see the hero of the story go through trials like that and pushing themselves to their physical limits. You don't really get that now. I guess it's like comparing Die Hard 1 to that 5th Die Hard film that we don't talk about. Hey, we got SeaWorld Man. How you doing, man? Let me do a little adjusting here. Now, I'm really hoping that I can just click your comment and bring it up on screen. And it's not giving me the option to do that. Okay, I am gonna have to see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research into this to see how I can bring up your comment. Sign into chat. Oh, okay. Let me do that. Oh, okay. So let me open it up in a web browser. This is probably gonna take me to my actual live stream. Oh, okay. No, so I just have it on a separate one. But can I bring it up? Is that now? Pin message. Let's see if I can bring up your comment. I need to actually look at my screen. As I say, this is all new to me, so I'm using Streamlabs now. This is a completely different one, but I'm glad to hear that it's running smooth. Thanks for letting me know, dude. Hide user on this channel. No, I'm not going to put you in timeout. Remove pin message. Does that work? So it's not bringing it up on screen though, is it? So I think that would just put it to the top of the actual video. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame that I can't bring up comments now. There must be a way. There must be a way. I'll look into it, man. But I should be able to chat with you guys now if I ever did want to type something in the chat. So that's good. I will keep that there. Let's see. Oh, technology, eh? Like who'd want technology? This is. There we go. Okay, so I've got the comments on like a sidebar there, so I can type if I want to do anything. Okay. What else is there to talk about? Oh yeah, let's carry on with the movies that have been out this year then. Dungeons and Dragons, actually, I still haven't seen. Now, I know JX Editor, who's obviously collaborated with me on a bunch of videos before. You guys know who he is if you've been watching my channel long enough. He has seen the movie, and we were actually meant to do a review on that a long time ago, and I still haven't got around to it. But I heard it was pretty okay. I didn't hear it was like fantastic or anything like that, but I heard it was very, very watchable. I really do. SeaWorld Man, I really wish I could bring up your comment on the actual video that I'm doing, but I don't know how to do it. So Yeah, but I can still see your chats and everything like that. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe Apple corrupting our Mac computers. What are they doing? But to be honest, it's something to do with the bitrate. That's the only thing that I've been like able to pin it down to with StreamYard. StreamYards don't really have much information out there in terms of troubleshooting. There is a page, but it's quite bare bones. And it said stuff like, oh, if you're using Chrome, try switching to Firefox. And if you're having problems with it on Firefox, try switching to Chrome. So I was always using everything on Chrome, so I switched to Firefox for it, and that's what I did my last test on. Was with the last Q&A video that I did around midnight, that was on Firefox, and it was exactly the same result. They said try, it's like the IT crowd, try turning it off and on again, turning the router off and back on again. I did all those things. It said move close to your modem, your internet router, and it's right there behind my computer. I could not be physically closer to that if I wanted to be. And none of these things have worked. And as I said, it's just really random when it does it. When I did Transformers, it was sort of the middle of the afternoon at 4 p.m. It ran absolutely fine. Most of my live streams now, because I tend to go to the cinema in the evenings, and I always do my review straight after getting out of the cinema, it's always kind of around 11 p.m. sort of time, midnight, which, to be fair, I've probably gone live a little bit too early tonight if I wanted to test it properly. So I wondered, is it something to do with the internet traffic at midnight and more people on it? But there's no one else on the internet in this household, so if anything, it should run quicker. So I really don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, but fingers crossed if this runs fine. And as I said, I'll watch this video back after I'm done just to make sure. And if this is all golden, if this is good, then we'll run with this for the time being until I can figure things out. And there's loads of different settings on here, as I said, like stuff that I can't even begin to imagine. It's really technological, all of this stuff, and how much you can customize the video that you guys are seeing. So like right now, I can just go like woo, and like that will probably be doing that on the live stream, maybe moving me around. But yeah, so you can do everything all in real time, and yeah, we'll just see how we go with it. C1 Man says, using your Mac or what you use it. Yeah, I'm using my Mac still. Yeah, I use Mac computers, but as I say, I've made the switch from StreamYard to Streamlabs now, and it seems to be working okay right now. I am concerned that there might be some trade-offs though, like for example, if I can't click a YouTube comment and it comes up on the screen, which is a shame. There's got to be a way to do that, surely. There has to be a way that can be done. I'm still trying to see, because I can bring up the chat and I can actually, chat to you guys, but I don't think it will let me. Like, I click the message and I've got go to channel, which will just take me to your YouTube channel. Pin message, but I'm pretty sure that will just pin it in the actual comments once the video's done, maybe. There's report, which I'm not going to do because I'm not a dick. Remove, which I'm not going to do because I'm not a dick. Put user in timeout. You haven't done anything to justify being put in a timeout. There's hide user on this channel. Why would I want to do that? And there's add as moderator. And, at this stage, I don't really need moderators. So, yeah, they're the only options it gives me, I'm afraid, dude. So, yeah. Let's carry on with what other movies are out. What have I seen this year? Chances are I probably just haven't been to the cinema all that much, really, and I think that's just kind of a testament to the current state of movies. I tell you what, they're just getting worse and worse. They really are. Okay, the Super Mario Brothers movie, which will probably be the highest grossing movie of the entire year, has made an absolute killing. This thing has easily crossed $1 billion. Oh my god, okay, budget of 100 million. And it's made 1.3 billion. That's made a lot of money. And they'll be fast-tracking a sequel to it. You'll be getting a Donkey Kong movie, a Legend of Zelda movie, and I think the audience for superhero movies is dying off, definitely. I think superhero fatigue has hit. And I to be honest, it's an interesting thing to mull over, really, because is it superhero fatigue? Or is it just terrible filmmaking? Because Across the Spider-Verse was amazing, was incredible, is so far probably my favourite film of the year, hands down. And that's a good superhero movie. And it wasn't really superhero fatigue for me because I was just having a great time watching it. I think what it comes down to is that Disney and Warner Brothers are just putting out absolute shit when it comes to their content, especially Disney. And our next film is The Marvels. Wonderful. Get hyped for that. Captain Marvel 2. Oh, yeah, can't wait for that. And the trailers look amazing. It's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. And I think audiences now... Yeah, you know, Guardians 3 made a bit, but those are characters that people care about, and it's kind of closing that end to it. To me, if you're going to go past Endgame, the only two that you really need to concern yourself with is No Way Home, which I had a fun time. It wasn't a perfect movie, but seeing Tobey Maguire back again, Andrew Garfield was cool, and the villains as well. It was a nostalgia thing for me, but it was nostalgia done right. I liked it. There was some shoehorned in meme lines in there, but for the most part, its heart felt like it was in the right place, and I had a good time with it. And probably Guardians 3, because it just closes those characters. It ties up their story. So... yeah, Marvel to me it's just done. It's become so convoluted. It's become contradictory. It's breaking its own canon. The writing's terrible. It's filled with the message. And what's our new roster of characters? It just seems really directionless at the moment. They're not building to anything. They should have, once Endgame had finished. You know, you started from small beginnings with Iron Man, and you ramped up over the course of 3 phases, and you hit your peak with Infinity War and Endgame. And then if you're going to carry it on after that, what you needed to do was you needed to back it way the fuck off. And you needed to just, like, bring it right back down to basics. Establish, just repeat the formula, what you already did. Just start with a new cast of characters, introduce all of them slowly with well-written and well-directed films. Start up slow and then raise up to your multiverse thing. But we've gone right in with the multiverse, and the multiverse is going to be destroyed, and the universe as we know it is dead, and the stakes are already too high. What are we building to? We're not building to anything. So I think the future, and I think if anything there is an audience for it, of course there is with the Super Mario Brothers movie, we're going to be seeing a lot more video game content, video game movie content. We've got The Last of Us on HBO. God help us for season 2 if it's going to follow the plot of that game. So I really hope they make some changes to that, but I very much doubt it. And especially from Illumination, if they've got the rights to it, you're going to have so many video game movies. You're going to have, as I said, they're going to be building up to... They're going to kind of get their own Marvel Cinematic Universe going, but with Nintendo characters. You'll probably get a Mario and Sonic crossover. You'll get a Donkey Kong movie. You'll get Legend of Zelda. You'll get all of these films. And hopefully they're good. You know, hopefully they are good, and then they'll probably build to a Smash Brothers movie later down the line. C1 Man says, I like that feature, meaning being able to bring up people's comments on the screen. Yeah, I do too. I like that feature as well, so I'm not ruling it out. You probably can. With all the different things you can do on this channel, I have no doubt that you can bring up comments. I'm trying to see if there's any way that I can, and it doesn't look like I can, but I probably can. I could probably can. Engage with your audience. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. On here, so I can start a Q&A. And I can start a poll so that people can just like a poll so people can jump in and vote on it. That's pretty cool. We can't do that on StreamYard. I could add a reaction. Community to participants. Toggle. There's going to be something. I'll find it. Just bear with me. As I say, this is a learning curve for me. What other movies have we had this year? I still haven't seen The Pope's Exorcist, actually. I heard that was alright. The Russell Crowe movie. But the trailer, it was just like another Exorcist movie. I was just like, can you really break the mold when it comes to Exorcist films? Because it just looks like it's ticking all the boxes. You know, someone's head's twisting around, someone's contorting, the power of Christ compels you, and crosses are flipping upside down. It's just all the stuff you come to expect. But I heard it was actually pretty good overall. Evil Dead Rise, that's another horror film I still need to catch up with on that. Let's see. Oh, Peter Pan and Wendy. Yeah, I'm avoiding that one like the plague. Yeah, then we got like Guardians 3. Shit, what else have we had? Fast X. Fast 10. It's a bad film. It's a very bad film, but I was entertained by it. So that's a so bad it's good kind of movie. Fast 10. Hey, we got some more comments. Cool. Seaman Man says, nah, moving the camera around without you physically moving it. Cinema peaked at the in-between. Mythic Dawn, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Cinema peaked at the In-Betweeners 2. Yeah, and I wasn't even too keen on the In-Betweeners 2. I must admit, don't get me wrong. It's great seeing those characters, and there are some fantastic bits. The bit at the water park where Neil shits down the slide is hilarious. That's my favourite bit of the whole movie. But I really liked where one ended. One felt like, you got 3 seasons in a movie. It tied everything up at the end. They all got the girl at the end. Completely unrealistic, but they all got like the smoking hot women at the end. They're all happy. They've all grown up, and that was it. It was a nice ending. And then in the second one, it broke them all up. And then, was her name Lucy, the one who Simon was going out with? She was actually, she was so sweet and like so nice in that first one. And then they made her into an absolute psycho. She was almost like a completely different character in the second one. So it was, I don't know, it just, the way that the second one ended didn't feel as fulfilling as the first one. I'm guessing the only reason that In-Betweeners 2 was made was because the first one was a massive hit. I still like it. I still like it. It's still funny, but for me, In-Betweeners 1 is definitely a lot better. The 3 seasons in the first movie. 2, I can sort of take or leave. Let's see what else we've got. Oh shit, then you had The Little Mermaid. Fucking hell. It's just been a really bad year for movies, hasn't it? Okay, there you go. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Out of all the films this year, that's the only one where I was actually like, wow, I just witnessed something really special there. The animation blew me away. Hadn't seen anything like it before. Well, I'd obviously seen something like it before with Into the Spider-Verse, but what I thought was that they wouldn't be able to recapture the magic of that first film, and that first film was so innovative that 2 would just kind of stay the same, but 2 just upped the ante in terms of the animation and showed me even more stuff that I haven't seen in an animated feature before. And if that film doesn't win, because I know it's going to be going up against the likes of Wish, which is the new Disney film coming out later this year, it's going to be going up against probably Elemental and shit like that. And at the Oscars, near enough all the times, apart from Into the Spider-Verse, Disney or Pixar always wins. But I haven't even seen Wish. I've seen the trailer for Wish. It looks like a nice film. It looks like a nice blend of the animation styles. It does. It looks like a really nice movie. Hopefully it doesn't push the message, but it looks, from the trailer, the animation itself looks really good. But if Across the Spider-Verse doesn't automatically win for Best Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, I'm done. I'm done, because it's got it. It's got it in the bag. Oh god, then you had Transformers Rise of the Beasts, just a tired franchise, just keeps on trudging on. It just needs to end. Then you had The Flash. Oof, Elemental. Now, I haven't seen Elemental yet, so I can't really comment on it, but I know that it's not doing well financially. Not many people seem very interested in it. From what I've seen from the trailers, the characters don't really look that likable to me from the trailers at least, but the film itself just looks like a reskinned Inside Out. It almost looks exactly like Inside Out, and I really enjoy Inside Out, but it just looks like I'm watching the same movie again, but with a cloud and a flame, and I don't. Maybe I'll get round to watching it, maybe, but I don't know if I'll rush to the cinema to go and watch it anytime soon. And then Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was the most recent one that I went to see. God, that's so bad, isn't it? It's such a bad year. It's such a bad year, but I'm hoping, as I've said, that Tom Cruise is going to pull it out of the bag tomorrow for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I haven't seen the new Insidious film yet. I think I've only ever seen the first 3 Insidious films, so I need to see 4. I probably need to go back actually and watch them again. I need to watch 4, and then the Red Door, I believe, is the 5th one. But I haven't seen any reviews on that yet, so I don't know if that's another good continuation in the Insidious films. I thought Insidious 1 was pretty overrated. There's some interesting ideas in there, but it's not my favourite Lee one. I much prefer his Conjuring films. The first Saw film, for instance. Insidious, as I say, some fun concepts in there, but it seems a little bit tonally all over the place for me. Mythic Dawn says, do you read literature? It's actually really ashamed of this. I do need to up my reading. I really do. And actually saying that, I think I've got it on here. I was working through... I gave Tolkien a bit of a rest. Because look what has come of my... look what has befallen my Hobbit book. The cover's off, finally, because it was hanging on by a thread. The spine's all beat up. This is a very well-loved book, despite the fact that the cover's off. It's well-loved because the cover's fallen off, and I haven't quite got the heart in me to put sellotape on this book or anything like that. But I was actually kind of at JX Editor's... not request, recommendation. And I've had these books since the movie came out in 2005, I want to say. I started going through the Chronicles of Narnia books. I've got the box set here. It's actually a really nice front cover. It's the same front cover as The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Some beautiful artwork on there of Aslan and the White Witch. And then on the back there, we've got I'm assuming that is the Dawn Treader. It looks like there's a ship on there. Some kind of longboat. It's a really nice collection, actually. They're numbered in not release order. So this was an interesting thing I discovered about these books, was that there's two different ways that you can read the Narnia books. You can go in actual timeline chronological order of the world of Narnia. So you can start with The Magician's Nephew, which is the creation. This is numbered book 2, which is The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, although this was technically the first one that was released. Then you got The Horse and His Boy, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Prince Caspian, The Silver Chair, and then The Last Battle is the final book in the franchise. But apparently there is an order to read these, and I believe that you have to start with this one, then you do... I don't know, is it Prince Caspian? I don't know. I'll have to check. But oh, actually no, hang on, sorry, Voyage of the Dawn Treader is in the wrong order. Yeah, so I think you do Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, then I'm pretty sure you do The Silver Chair, then The Horse and His Boy, then The Magician's Nephew, then The Last Battle. I could be wrong about that though, I'm going to have to check, but I honestly don't get much time to read. There was a night where I felt inspired and I wanted to get back into reading, and I powered through pretty much 100 pages of this. I was actually shocked at how small a book this is. I don't know what I was expecting, because I know it's inherently a kid's book, but I was expecting something more like The Lord of the Rings, I think, from it. So imagine my surprise when I opened this book, and it's got pictures in here as well, and the writing's, it's pretty big. And it clocks in at like 170 pages. And I read 100 pages in one night. I just powered through it. It was actually really cool what I did. I put the soundtrack on from the 2005 movie. And I was reading it almost in time that the tracks were switching. So I was almost in real time with the movie, which felt really cool. And a sign, I guess, of a great screenplay, because the film seemed really close to this book. So that was the last one that I was reading, but I never made it to the end. I just kind of dropped off it. I kind of go through peaks and wanes when it comes to reading, which is a shame because I've got so many books that I want to read. I've got all 12 volumes right there. I'll show you the first book. I won't get them all off the shelf. I bought these over lockdown. Someone was selling them on eBay, and I actually got them for a really good price, because these books fetch for quite a lot of money now. So that's the first volume in the 12 volumes of the history of Middle Earth books, which I really want to read. It goes into all the behind the scenes, and this one, the Book of Lost Tales, starts from the really small beginnings of, you know, his notes in the trenches when he was in World War One, early when he's talking about gnomes, and then eventually gnomes become elves, and you've got the sort of like the into the West kind of thing, and the early concepts of a lot of the stuff that would eventually develop into what we know as the Lord of the Rings and the world of Middle Earth. And there's 12 volumes, and they're thick books. I mean, check this out, right? I don't know if this is the thickest one, but it's certainly one of them. This is volume 6. This is The Return of the Shadow, and it's it's dense. These are really dense books, and I mean, the font's kind of like standard size, I guess, but I know there's loads of juicy information in here and extra writings and extra information that I'm not aware of, and I want to get to it, especially Volume 10, Morgoth's Ring. I've heard that you've got like the Dagor Dagorath in that, which wasn't included in the actual Silmarillion, but it's alluded to in the Silmarillion. It's sort of the Ragnarok kind of event. It's the Doomsday event, and I want to read about that shit. So I've got all 12 volumes of these I need to get through at some point. Let's see what else I've got. The Children of Húrin. I've got the Unfinished Tales. I want to go through Lord of the Rings again. I want to go through the Silmarillion again. I keep getting kind of stuck in a Tolkien pitfall, basically, which isn't a bad thing to be stuck in because he's my favourite writer. But yeah, so do I read literature? Not as much as I should. I should really try and get into the habit of reading a couple of chapters every night. And, over time, I'd get through some serious books. What I did find, I started listening to a lot of audiobooks. This sort of last year when I was really into my hiking. I actually haven't been on a hike this year, and I feel really bad because I want to get out somewhere and get on a hike properly. And I'm actually planning one in Wales, hopefully, in a couple of weeks, weather permitting, obviously, because I don't want to fall and die. But I was listening to audiobooks on the way, and I was listening to The Hobbit, or I was listening to The Lord of the Rings, and I was hiking in these really picturesque places, and it was really cool. It felt so authentic. It felt like I was in Middle-earth without being in New Zealand, and it was a wonderful experience. Let's see. Seawood Man says, I was 10, you were 12. I'm guessing... Yes, yeah, wow, I was 12 years old when Narnia came out. I can't believe that. I haven't seen the film in so long as well, and I remember really liking Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I think it was a really good film. Let's see, so I'm going back to the films now on the list of stuff that we've got coming out. So Mission Impossible tomorrow. Oh, then of course we've got Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan's new film, out on the same day as Barbie. Now, that's out on a Friday. I work on Fridays, and then I work early on Saturday mornings, so I'd love to do a double feature. I'd love to go and see both of those on day one and get a review out for you guys. Maybe like a joint live stream review. That could be pretty fun. But I think, especially because Oppenheimer's 3 hours long, I'm probably going to have to see Barbie on the Friday and then go and see Oppenheimer after I finish work on the Saturday. Maybe, or I might get to see it on the Sunday, but I will have reviews out that opening weekend. Like, I'll have reviews out for it. Then we've got Disney's The Haunted Mansion, which looks terrible. It looks like something that should just go straight to Disney Plus. Seawood Man says, are my Star Wars canvases still up? And I can tell you, are you going to say a very messy thing in front of my TV? Yes, they are. There it is right there. Let me just pan this down. There we go. That's kind of where it was, I think. Oh, maybe there. That's where it was. Oh, I need to get Fellowship in. There we go. That's better. We've got a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated film, which again looks terrible. The Meg 2, The Trench, which I actually got a trailer for and looks hilarious. But I wasn't too keen on the Meg 1. I know it has its audience, but I just want a good film. We've got a Gran Turismo movie. There you go. There's another video game movie that's coming out soon. So yeah, we're gonna have that. Anything else? Obviously, there's probably some Oscar films in here as well. Oh, Lord have mercy. We've got Blue Beetle. Well, that film's dead on arrival, isn't it? That's going to lose Warner Brothers some more money. You know what they should do now? Like, with Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 are the last two movies of the current DCEU. They should just port them to HBO Max. They should just cut their losses because they're going to lose so much money. And I don't know if it's a case of if they release it into the cinemas, there's a chance that they won't lose as much. If they just put it straight onto HBO Max, they're going to lose a lot of money. But yeah, Warner Brothers aren't in a good way. To the point where I heard they were having to sell some Batman stuff, weren't they? I think was it the music, the rights to the music or something. they've had to release to some of the Batman films. I heard Sony are probably picking it up, but let's see. Anything else? Oh, we've got The Nun 2. I forgot that was coming out. The first one was terrible. Hated the Nun film. Really cool character in The Conjuring 2, but that spin-off film was terrible. Some of the worst writing I've seen, but I haven't seen the trailer yet. But we've got The Nun 2, so apparently there's an audience for another Nun film. Seaward Man says you should hang up that Spider-Verse poster. Yeah, I've still got it. Still got the Spider-Verse poster right there. My wall space is very limited, as you can see. That wall's taken up. The back wall, that one there, taken up by that sword. I've got no space on that side of my room. All of my swords are on this wall. And I've actually still got 2 swords down there that I still haven't put up yet because I've got no space for them. And then my Star Wars canvas and poster on there, so I've really got no room. I need a second room for my man cave, but yeah. It's annoying because I actually haven't bought... The last time I bought a Lord of the Rings sword was towards the beginning of the year, and I haven't bought one. I really got into collecting them, but there's so many things I want to buy. I want to buy a new amp, I want to buy a cab and a head for my guitar. I want to buy a new guitar. And then there's all manner of Lord of the Rings merch out there, which I want to buy for my collection. Of course I do, but at the moment they're just gathering dust sat over there, which is a shame. JX Editor says spicy chicken. Yes, indeed, spicy chicken. It's some good shit. What else have we got? We have got the Expendables 4, which... That's why... that's terrible. I've always hated this. You know when a film puts a number in the title? Like, I guess, like Too Fast, Too Furious or something like that. Expendables 4 apparently is doing that right there. Expendables, apparently. Expendables is coming out later this year. That's in September. Let's see. Paw Patrol, the mighty movie. I'm sure that will make a lot of money. We've got Kraven the Hunter, and another Spider-Man villain film that Sony's shitting out that isn't going to have Spider-Man in it. Okay, then we're getting into the good stuff. Then we've got Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro. That should be good. It's Scorsese, for God's sake, isn't it? There's a new Exorcist film coming out. Called The Exorcist Believer, and I think what it's doing is, so it's kind of doing what those new Halloween films did, where it's pretending that Halloween 2 onwards never happened, and these are like the proper direct sequel to that original film. So they're getting rid of Exorcist 2, they're getting rid of Exorcist 3. Apparently this is the 6th installment in the Exorcist film series, which is news to me because I knew there was an Exorcist 2. I know there's an Exorcist 3. What are these other ones then? Prequels and sequels. I've got to check this shit. So you got the original Exorcist 1973. Yeah, Exorcist 2 The Heretic in 77 and The Exorcist 3 in 1990. So that's the original trilogy. Then there's prequel films which came out in 2004 and 2005. You got Exorcist the Beginning, which I didn't even know that was a thing. Then Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist. so there's 2 prequels to The Exorcist that came out within a year of each other. That's quite funny. And then you've got a sequel so they're doing a new trilogy of films then. It's going to be like Halloween all over again. You got The Exorcist Believer, and then you've got Untitled Exorcist film, and then Untitled Exorcist film. By David Gordon Green. So that name rings a bell. David Gordon Green, what has he done? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's done the Halloween films. So I really enjoyed Halloween 2018, and I thought that was a really good place to leave it. Halloween Kills was fucking terrible, and I still haven't seen Halloween Ends. So that's another one that I think this October, actually, I think this Halloween, I'm going to have to catch up with some of these horror films. I'm going to have to watch like Evil Dead Rise. I'm going to have to watch The Pope's Exorcist. I'm going to have to watch Halloween Ends. I'm just going to have to try and tick all these films off my list. Let's see what else we've got. Anything good? Anything big towards the end of the year? Probably not. We've got Teen Wolf the movie. We've already got a Teen Wolf film. It came out in the 80s with Michael J. Fox, and it's fantastic. Don't need another one. Oh, hang on. This is taking me... We've had these already. Hang on. It's taking me towards January again. Let me just scroll back through. Where did I get up to? September, I think I got up to. We've got the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which a trailer's been released for. There you go. There's another video game movie that's coming out. They're going to really ramp up those video game movies, I guarantee. And then we've got Saw 10, which I'm actually really looking forward to. I'm a sucker for the Saw films. I am. And a lot of them are bad, especially the recent few that have come out. Spiral from the Book of Saw was crap. Jigsaw was crap, but it was the first Saw film that I got to see in the cinema. So I still had a really good time and a really entertaining time watching one. And, you know, when that Hello Zepp music kicks in at the end, the Charlie Clouser music, I always get a kick out of it. The Saw films, we used to get so hyped for them at school. Me and my mate, we absolutely loved them. And we'd theorize about what the next one was going to be about and how the story was going to continue. And then we'd always plan how we'd get into the cinema screen. Because we were underage at the time. We wouldn't have got in for an 18. And I was a goody two-shoes as well, so I never even tried to sneak in. But we always came up with these really elaborate plans of how we were going to sneak into the movie. We were going to try and find a... And if we had an app now, we could absolutely do this, because we could find out what screen everything was in. We'd go, right, we're going to buy a ticket for a movie, and we're going to go to that screen, and we're going to sit down, and then we're going to get out of that screen, and then we're going to find which one that Saw's playing in, and then we're going to sit in there. And we never did. But, yeah, Saw 10, apparently, with Tobin Bell's back. He must be getting on now, isn't he? Yeah, he's 80 years old now. Christ. Unless they're going to bring him back from the dead, like... They're going to have to digitally de-age him. They're going to have to do something. We're probably going to have Uncanny Valley Tobin Bell. We've got Shawnee Smith as well. They're probably going to have to de-age her a bit now. She's 54. And again, if they're... I don't know what's going to go on with this one. But Kevin Groidert's directing it. He directed one of the best and one of the worst Saw films. So Kevin Groidert was the editor on the Saw films, and then he got the directing gig for Saw 6. I actually really like Saw 6. I think it's probably actually one of the best. It's probably in the top 3 for me. Or yeah, no, it's probably in the top 3. It's probably in the top 3 maybe. And then he directed Saw 3D, the final chapter, and it wasn't the final chapter. And it was terrible, and it was awful, and the writing was crap, and the directing was kind of crap. I don't know if I blame him. These things were just kind of rushed out on a conveyor belt each year to get them out for an October release. JX Editor, again, I can't bring up the comments, unfortunately. JX says, saw the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's. Looks like they're setting up for a trilogy. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And I'm sure it will make a lot of money. It will be popular in the video game crowd. It will be popular in the horror, just the general horror movie crowd. You're gonna see more of these video game movies cropping up, and if it looks good, they've actually made puppets for the puppets, which is great. It's not just terrible CGI. As far, I actually don't know much about Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm assuming it's got all of this complex lore and everything to it, because they've done a bunch of games, haven't they? I don't think they've just done the one game. I feel like they've done a few. But as far as I know, it's just you get locked in a kind of Chuck E. Cheese kind of environment, and you've got to keep watching the monitors. You're like a security guard or something, right? You've got to keep watching the monitors, because they're like weeping angels. If you take your eyes off them, they're coming after you, and it's just a bunch of jump scares. And I don't know how you're going to turn that into a feature-length movie. But then again, I don't know much about the game, so if there are sequels and spin-offs and prequels and whatnot, and they fleshed out the lore, maybe they're going to bring that into the film. I don't know. I was trying to see if there's any information on Saw 10, but I mean, we haven't had a trailer yet for it. There's no plot details for it as far as I know. All I know is that we've got Jigsaw in it again, we've got Amanda, And then there's a bunch of other cast members announced as well. No Costas Mandylor yet, though, but I'd love to see a return for Detective Hoffman after his fate at the end of Saw the Final Chapter. JX Editor says, you want to know about Five Nights at Freddy's lore? Okay, cracks the calls. Oh, God, it's got... Yeah, give me that lore. Give me those appendices on Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, Dune Part 2. We got the trailer for that, like the full official trailer too. And it looks fucking good. I will say that. So I think there's going to be a very interesting edit that can be made once Dune Part 2's out and we've got both parts that we can work with. Question is, would you want to try and edit it into one movie? Because they kind of did that with the 80s movie. And I love that 80s Dune movie. I think it's fantastic. It's got a really nice... kind of in the same vein as something like a Flash Gordon. It's campy, it's kind of cheesy in some parts, but there's also stuff I really like about it. The models in it are brilliant. The music is second to none. Toto doing the soundtrack for that film. And it's memorable. And to me, you know, Dune Part 1, the Denis Villeneuve movie, it is more accurate to the book. It's got two halves, essentially, you know, two movies to tell its story. It can take its time. It can develop it out a little bit more. But the fact that they had to do all of that story in one movie in the 80s with the limitations they had for the time, I commend that. And to be honest, I'd much rather watch that 80s Dune film than watch Dune Part 1. I like Dune Part 1. But to me, the original 80s one's just way more entertaining and I just get more out of it. But that's me. I like older films. I like practical effects and I like stuff like that. And I like that inherent cheesiness to it. And as I say, the soundtrack by Toto is absolutely marvellous. But yeah, we got Christopher Walken now as the Emperor in Dune Part 2. And he looks intense as he always is. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to have to do a rewatch of Dune Part 1 to prepare for that. But yeah, that'll be a good one. Then we got the Marvels. I ain't going to be watching it. We've got a new David Fincher movie coming out towards the end of the year called The Killer. We've got the Hunger Games prequel going for a November release, which is the incredibly catchy title of The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm assuming that is based on a book. I mean, I got asked by Mythic Dawn earlier, do I read literature? Apparently not. Is this actually based on a prequel book that was released for the Hunger Games series, or is this them? Is this just Lionsgate going, "Hey, we've got that property that used to make a lot of money. Let's just get a prequel out of it"? But maybe it's the prequel hype coming out as well, because we've got the, you know, at HBO you've got the Fire and Blood series that's the prequel to Game of Thrones. So I don't know. Maybe prequels are in again at the moment. JX says William Afton founded Freddy's Family Diner, which had non-animatronic mascots inspired by the guys walking around Disneyland. The mascots were Freddy Fazbear, inspired by a dancing bear he saw as... Oh my god, there's going to be a continuation to that comment, isn't there? I'm going to expect a voice message, dude. I'm going to check. It's going to be like a 20-minute voice message giving me all of that Five Nights at Freddy lore. Hey, we've got Carl. How you doing, man? I don't know if you've just joined us, but I can't bring up comments like how I can on StreamYard, how I can click the comment and it comes up on screen. I'm guessing I probably can, but this is all new to me. This is really bare bones. This is me just to a camera. I haven't put thumbnails on anything yet. I haven't put video clips on anything yet. I don't know how to do that shit, so I'm gonna figure that out tomorrow. But for the time being, a lot of these streams, until we have to do a quiz or something like that, are pretty much just going to be the thumbnail to begin with and this, so I'm sure I'll figure it out. But hey, if it means that I can stream without the interruptions and without the bitrate issues and lag and whatnot, which are making my videos unwatchable, if this is watchable and it's keeping up with me and it's just like old times where the video is absolutely fine, then we're just going to stick to this one. But good seeing you again, man. How you doing? How you been? How's things in the world of music? How's things in the life of movies? And in your personal life as well. Hope everything's going well. Seawood Man says, use Instagram any. Do I use Instagram? No, I don't. I don't. I'm an old man. I don't get Instagram. I just don't understand it. I don't get much free time as it is, really, and when I do, it's all music practice now. Music's my life. It's electric guitar practice. I've started classical guitar now. There's piano as well, which I'm going to have to do as soon as I finish live streaming on here. So I probably won't be going for much longer. Probably just go to like an hour or maybe just a little bit over. But I like doing these live streams, and it's cool when I get to chat to you guys and touch base a little bit. So Carl says, loving the Kiss t-shirt. Hell yeah, man. So I picked this up. This was their End of the Road tour, which is like their, fourth attempt at a final tour, it seems like. And I know that they're all singing to backing. I know that 90% of the show is to backing tracks, and the lip syncing. Paul Stanley's completely lost his voice. Gene Simmons mimes a bunch of tracks on the night as well. Eric there's a video out there of Eric fake playing the piano. There's a video where he's playing Beth in the encore of the show, and he holds down a chord, but the backing track piano is still doing all like the twiddly bit on top. So they're all frauds, but they've earned their stripes in the world of rock, and I'm a huge Kiss fan. It's the most expensive gig I've ever been to. It was 130 quid for a ticket for Golden Circle Standing, which is, I begrudged every penny, because that is egregious. That is pure greed. And then not to mention the shirt, and then you get the program as well, which, you know what, to be fair, with how much they usually charge for programs at these venues, this is actually a pretty good one. It goes through all of their career. It goes through all of the tours they've done over the years. Let me find my favourite one. Where is it? I'm going to turn straight to the 80s. You know me by now. There we go. That's the best tour right there. The Crazy Crazy Nights tour. Hang on, that page right there. So yeah, it's mostly pictures and stuff, but I really like that it's just gone through all of their, it's just gone through all of their tours. It's the full 50-year history, and I thought so. It's a good piece to have, I guess, from the band. But I tell you what, I had an absolute blast at that gig. Loved it beginning to end. The spectacle, I haven't seen anything like it. So when you go and see a Kiss gig, you're really just going to see the spectacle. You're going to see the pyrotechnics. You're going to see them on zip wires and on elevated platforms and whatnot. I met some great people there in the crowd as well, who I've stayed in touch with. So yeah, it was a great gig. It was a really, it's up there as one of my most enjoyable ones I've ever been to, and I'm glad I finally got to see them live, because I'd never seen them live before. So part of the reason I wanted to, I begrudged spending 130. I really did, but I thought, who knows what can happen, right? Do I believe that this is going to be their final tour? No. There's a video from them in like early to mid 2000s where they announced their first. It was either their first or second final tour, and Gene was like, "This is the last time that you're going to be able to come to see us. This is it. Once we've done these shows, that's it. We're done." And 20 years later, they're still going. So they'll keep going. They'll keep going as long as people are showing up and paying money for the tickets and for the merch, myself included. They'll keep playing. And you know what? Even if it's to backing tracks, I think there is an interesting argument there. If musicians can't sing and they can't play, and they're having to have the aid of a backing track, should they just stop? And I think if you're looking for like pure musical integrity, then the answer's yes, they should. You don't want to go and see a fake performance, but even then, you're paying to see a show, and they deliver on the spectacle front, and they are there on stage. They're there. They're showing up. And in a way, you're still getting to hear that music and see your favourite musicians on stage. Because I've said as well, and this is really depressing, I mean, there are some bands that I still like now, some modern metal and rock bands, ones that kind of capture that 80s retro sound are mostly the ones that I gravitate towards. But new bands, like I love Powerwolf, Beast in Black are fantastic, Reckless Love, there's a few modern bands that I still really enjoy. But my heart lies with the hair metal and the heavy metal and the hard rock from the 80s and the 70s. And they're coming to an end. If they're not doing a final tour, they just don't tour at all. Or the bands that I loved in the 80s have already disbanded and they're no longer a thing. So in a few years, 5, 10 years, chances are I'm probably never going to go to a gig again. Or at least not as many. So any chance that I can to see a lot of these older bands that I love, I'll go. Unless it's Guns N' Roses, because they were charging £300 standing ticket to go and see them at Hyde Park in London. And I watched the performance at Glastonbury and I was just like, oof. Oof, no thank you. But, you know, in a few years, Guns N' Roses will probably do a final tour. They'll probably do a final tour as well, and I'll probably go to that. The one that I'm gutted that I didn't go to was Metallica at Download, but then I did see that Download Festival, the traffic was backed up for hours. Someone who lives about 2 hours away, it took them like 10.5 hours to get in. And I don't care. It's actually not that far down the road from me, where they hold the Download Festival. I think it's like 35 minute drive from me, maybe. But there is no way. There is no way. But I do really want to see Metallica, but I did hear that Metallica are gearing up for a world tour now. So they'll probably be doing the American leg of the tour for a year or two, and then, you know, fingers crossed, all being well, they'll be back here and I can finally see them. JX is still bringing that Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I'm sure I'll get around to reading that. Carl says, this is the first Kiss gig I haven't been to. Just felt like they pushed it too far with the price. Yeah, no, they did. And I think... I mean, I don't know if you were following it closely, but Plymouth, they were meant to be... that was the first UK date they were meant to be playing for this new tour. And they had to pull it. And there were loads of reasons why, logistics, blah, 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 blah. But what I heard is just that Plymouth just wasn't selling tickets. You know that they were in dire straits to try and sell tickets because they were desperate. They were doing 20% off discounts. I think they even did a buy one, get one half price or buy one, get one free tickets, 2 for the price of 1 kind of ticket deals. I had a bit of a fiasco actually with my tickets, so I wanted to go Golden Circle because on the map, Golden Circle, like the stage was up here, say. And then Golden Circle looked like it stretched really far back, and then you had General Standing kind of occupying this bit right here. And I thought, if I'm in General Standing, there's no way that I'm going to see them at all. Even if I get there early, I'm going to be behind a sea of people. So I knew I wanted to do Golden Circle. But then I saw the price. And to be honest, General Standing wasn't that much less. I think General Standing was about £110. And Golden Circle was like £20 more at 130 or something like that. And I was debating, I was trying to hold off as long as physically possible before committing to a ticket. And then when the day that I decided to get a ticket, the day before they were still available, when I went on the day to buy them, it was greyed out. Golden Circle had all sold out, and I was gutted. But then I clicked the map where you can pick your seat or you can pick where you want to be. And there was still a few Golden Circle tickets in there. Like you could still click on Golden Circle. Like just a few little... a few little icons. So I was like, okay. So I clicked that. I'm going Golden Circle. Took it to checkout and it charged me £110. So it charged me the general entry price. So I thought there is probably going to be some kind of discrepancy here. When I got there on the day, they had the 2 different queues. They had the general entry queue and the Golden Circle queue. So I get into the Golden Circle one and I asked someone in line with me, I said like, hey, can I just check your ticket? Does it say Golden Circle standing on there or does it just say general entry? And she pulled out the ticket and it said Golden Circle on there. And I was like, right, we got a problem because this is general entry. So I went to the box office and just explained the situation to them. And she says, oh, yeah, it's fine. You can upgrade if you want. You can upgrade to Golden Circle. So clearly they were kind of clamoring for the custom. They were just trying to get as many tickets sold as possible or to upgrade as many people as possible because there were plenty of spaces. And I got into that Golden Circle pen and it was really tiny actually. On the map it looked like it stretched really far back. It was not many people at all in that first bit. And there were so many spaces. You weren't packed in like sardines, which I have been like at some gigs where you're just like this and you can't move for hours. There was plenty of elbow room. So yeah, and I was looking around and there was a bunch of vacant seats around the outside and there was a lot of people in the standing crowd, but it wasn't filled to capacity at all. So yeah, I think it was pure greed. But you gotta love them though, haven't you? You gotta love them. That's the thing. If they can slap that Kiss name on a fridge magnet, on a frisbee, on a beach towel, they'll do it, and they probably have already done it. But it was a great gig. It was really really fun. But as you said, you've seen them a bunch of times before, so yeah. And I don't think they've changed the set list all that much, to be honest, over the years. The one thing that I am gutted about though was that I missed the chance to see them a few years ago. I think it was before COVID, actually. And I was debating whether to go, and in hindsight, I really should have gone. But I heard that my favourite era of Kiss, unsurprisingly, is the 80s era. The Crazy Crazy Nights album, Turn on the Night, Reason to Live, My Way, Fight Hell to Hold You, like the Crazy Crazy Nights. They're all my favourite Kiss songs are from that album. And I heard that they just don't do the 80s stuff anymore, really, just because Paul Stanley can't sing it. So the reason that I resisted going all those years ago was because I heard they just played their 70s stuff. And don't get me wrong, their 70s stuff's fine, but it doesn't get me amped, so I didn't go. And then my mate went and was like, "Oh, mate, they played Love Gun, they played Crazy Crazy Nights." I was gutted that I didn't go. I was really, really gutted. But the shame about this new tour is that there's no Crazy Crazy Nights on the set list. So yeah, they did Love Gun, which was great, but man, to me, like, Crazy Crazy Nights is one of their most famous songs, and it's just a shame that I never got to see that live, but it is what it is. I still had a really good time. Anyway, just going back to movies real quick, but no, it's great talking, now that I know you're into rock and metal, it's great talking about all that stuff with you, dude. Have you got any other gigs lined up for the rest of this year, by the way? I'd be interested to see what you're going to. We've got a new Trolls movie coming out, Trolls Band Together. Did anyone ask for that movie? Probably not. We've got the new Disney animated feature called Wish, and I've seen the trailer for that, actually, and the animation looks like this kind of blend. It almost looks like an AI generated movie, but it looks like it's this blend between 2D animation and cel shaded animation and the typical 3D computer generated animation that they do now. So it looks like a really nice blend. It looks like it's more going back to a vein of that hand-drawn animation, but it's still not quite hand-drawn animation. You've got Napoleon, the Ridley Scott movie with Joaquin Phoenix, which, that'll be going up for some Oscars maybe. Unless it's going to be like, what was it? What was it called? The Final Duel? What was it called that came out with it was Ben Affleck and was it Adam Driver? Am I remembering rightly? The one was set in France. Oh, The Last Duel. Yeah, because I remember that was meant to go up for all Oscars, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, a big historical epic, and it never got anything. Yeah, that was the same year he released The Last Duel and House of Gucci at the same time. And I actually can't believe that Gladiator 2 is still going to be a thing, by the way. That is happening, whether we want it or not. And let's be fair, none of us want Gladiator 2, but it's happening. And we're powerless to stop it, I think. A few other Oscar movies probably towards the end of the year. We've got the December release is Wonka, the Willy Wonka prequel, which no one wanted. You've got a new Chicken Run film coming out called Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget, which has a completely different voice cast. You've got Zachary Levi voicing Rocky, which was voiced by Mel Gibson in the first movie, and you've got Thandie Newton, I think, as Ginger, even though it was Julia Sawalha, I think, wasn't it, in the first one? So it ain't going to be the same. They've got none of the, as far as I know, I don't think they've got any of the original voice cast, have they? Just looking down the list. No? So, yeah, I probably won't like that one. What's the premise? After successfully escaping from Tweedy's farm in a daring and risky manner, Ginger has discovered her ideal place, an idyllic island retreat where the entire flock can live in harmony, without any risks from humans. With the arrival of Ginger and Rocky's new daughter, Molly, it appears that Ginger's fairy tale ending has finally come true. However, the entire chicken population is now confronted with a menacing and new danger of the mainland. Determined to safeguard their freedom, even if it means endangering it, Ginger and her team are determined to break in. It's just the voices, it won't be the same. And I think one of the reasons that they said that they probably haven't got Mel Gibson back because, of things, because they've cancelled him in the past, even though other celebrities have done and said much, much worse. I still fucking love Mel Gibson. He's a great actor. He's an even better director as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of his future projects. So I'm guessing that's probably the reason they didn't get him back. And they didn't get the voice actress of Ginger back because apparently they said that she sounds too old now for the character, which is absolutely bullshit because she did like a demonstration. She can still do the voice. Has her voice aged a little bit? Yeah, but guess what? We're all fucking human. Guess what? If you watch Toy Story 4, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen sound older than they did in Toy Story 1. That's just a thing that happens. But apparently it's fine for the Pixar films, but it's not fine for Aardman, so... I'm guessing... Is that going to get a theatrical release? I thought that will probably be like straight to Netflix or something, isn't it? I thought I saw that film was going straight to Netflix, but yeah, it is. Straight to Netflix. SeaWorld Man says, excited for Wonka. To me, the story of Willy Wonka is just Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I guess if you're going with the books, it's the Great Glass Elevator as well. But that wasn't really that great. It's just like Willy Wonka goes to space. So if they were going to do one, do that one. At least it's different. You know, it's not another Tim Burton remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But like, why do we need a Willy Wonka prequel? Because number one, it just takes away from the mystique of the character. Gene Wilder is so wonderful in that role because we don't know where he came from. He alludes to all these things, but is he lying? Is he telling the truth? The Tim Burton film went into more detail in that, and it has all of these flashbacks of where he's fighting the like the Snozwangers and the Vermicious Knids or whatever they're called. And he finds Lumperland, and all of this stuff is alluded to in the books. There is a part in the books where, and I will say, apart from the whole like Christopher Lee stuff and the dentist stuff and Willy Wonka having a weird upbringing, that Tim Burton's film is a lot closer to the book than the original film. But that original film is so fucking wholesome. It's a cinematic classic. It's one that everyone should see, and it's infinitely better than the Tim Burton one in almost every single way, especially Willy Wonka. I'm not even like a big what's his name, fucking Timothée Chalamet. I'm not a big Timothée Chalamet fan. I'm really not. Like, everyone hypes him up. To me, he's just, I haven't really seen him in anything that just like blows me away as a performance. He's always just kind of monotone and one note. But I don't need to know everything about Wonka. The story of Willy Wonka for me is the golden tickets and the chocolate factory and Charlie Bucket getting the factory at the end. That's it. That's the main story. I don't need to know everything about his upbringing. So what's this? Is this just gonna be like his adventures in like fucking Lumperland or something? Like, okay, sure. And then we've got Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and that's just gonna lose Warner Brothers so much money. Apparently, there's a new Ghostbusters film coming out later this year. It's the Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel. But I haven't seen any trailers for that or anything, so I don't know if that's gonna get pushed back. Maybe I don't know if the writer's strike's gonna impact any of these films, maybe. Oh, and then you've got Zack Snyder's latest cinematic epic that's going to shit its way onto Netflix, so expect a review for that in December. Merry Christmas, guys. And that's it for 2023. What a sorry shot of shit the rest of the year's shaping up to be. Let's see. Carl says the hype for Barbie is ridiculous. Just seems like such a meme film, and will make most of its money in the first 2 weeks, and then everyone will move on to the next trend. Yeah, I agree. I really like that teaser trailer though. The play on 2001: A Space Odyssey I thought was a really, really interesting take on that teaser trailer. And even then, I haven't seen loads from... I know they released a full trailer, but I only watched bits of it, and I'm expecting it to kind of be like, you know how Lego Movie was? And there were so many references to like old Lego products and things like that the fans will really enjoy. Probably similar to the Mario Kart, the Mario Brothers movie that came out. If you've played those games, if you've played all of those games and you know all the lore and stuff, there's going to be like really small details in there that only the true fans will know. I expect it's going to be the same with Barbie. You're probably going to have play sets and costumes and stuff that were from like the really old lines of the toys. Obviously, I never played with Barbies as a kid, so I don't know anything about that. I was always into, where's my Action Man movie? Can we get an Action Man movie? Is that too machismo? Can we not have that in 2023? Is it too toxic masculinity and all that stuff now? Have we got to nerf him down a little bit? But yeah, I was all about Action Man. And what was his name? Doctor X, Professor X. That's X-Men. I think it was like Doctor X or something, wasn't it? Was the villain in that? So yeah, still waiting on that. But yeah, I can't believe that I'm gonna be like, yeah, one ticket to Barbie, please. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and I'll have a review on it, and hopefully you guys will watch it because I'm sure I'll have something to say on it. JX is dude, you still going with the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. Carl says, I'm not a massive fan of them, but I just booked to see The Darkness perform. Oh yeah, I did see 20th anniversary, dude. Jesus. Oh, at Rock City. Okay, yeah, that's like a local venue to me. That's one that I go to quite a lot. Yeah, in Nottingham. Nottingham's a really good music scene actually, but yeah, you'll have a blast there. I've never been a massive Darkness fan as well, but they tour pretty regularly. They play Coventry. Like, it's not Party in the Park or whatever it's called. Godiva Festival, that's it. Why do they call it Party in the Park? It's Godiva Festival. They've played there a bunch of times. I think they actually supported Guns N' Roses in Hyde Park as well last week, or whenever it was they played. But yeah, that'll be cool. I'm trying to think of what other gigs I've got this year. I might be going to Sleaze Festival at the end of August. That's up in Sheffield. Maybe. I haven't decided on that yet, though. I've got Europe. It's like an evening with Europe in Wolverhampton towards the end of the year. And then I've got the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers in concert. That's in September at the Royal Albert Hall. So I'm out of my mind for that. I went to see Fellowship of the Ring. And it's one of the best. It's one of the best moments of my entire life was seeing the live score to that movie. Eyes are just on the violinists the whole time because I used to play violin, and yeah, I'm into my rock and my metal, but I love my classical as well. You know, that comes from piano, but violin and everything. And the Lord of the Rings, I could talk about Lord of the Rings all the time, and I do, but the music was so inspiring to me growing up. It was the thing that got me into playing violin, was the Rohan theme, and I wanted to play it. So I started violin. And you know, doing orchestra and stuff at school and school concerts and things like that. I got a lot of fun memories of those times at school in the orchestra and everything, and playing with other people. So it's going to be nice. It's going to make me really jealous and really envious of all those people that are literally living. They just have the best job in the world. They're touring the world, playing venues like the Royal Albert Hall. They show up, mastered their craft over all these years with their instrument of choice, and they're literally playing music to some of the best films ever made, some of the most iconic music ever played. And they're playing That's when you know you've made it. Like, oh, hey honey, what did you get up to at work today? Oh, I played a 3.5 hour set to the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. That's fucking great. That's so good. And yeah, they had a singer there as well. I can't remember her name because they've apparently just stopped selling programs now for all of these concerts and gigs. When I was doing the Star Wars original trilogy in concert, A New Hope, I got a very nice t-shirt and I got a very nice program. Empire Strikes Back, the following year, got a very nice t-shirt, got a very nice program. Return of the Jedi, so this was like after COVID, because it was like delayed a lot from COVID. Didn't have any t-shirts, didn't have any merch on sale, no programs, nothing. I went to the sound of 007, programs, fantastic, we're back on it, we've got programs again now. And then yeah, I went to Fellowship of the Ring in concert and nothing. And that was the one thing as well. I was like, I am legitimately about to drop about £200 right now, because if they had merch at the Lord of the Rings in concert, I would buy everything. I would just be like, give me one of everything. Every shirt you've got, every fridge magnet, every like program, mug, you name it, cap, hoodie, bag it up. Name your price. And I was prepared to do that, and they didn't have any. I was absolutely gutted. So what'll piss me off even more now, because like my OCD on the Star Wars stuff is horrible. Like, I've got my very nice program for A New Hope, Got a very nice program for Empire Strikes Back, and then I haven't finished that fucking trilogy because they didn't do one. So what'll annoy me more is if there is a Two Towers one, because then it's just going to be Two Towers on its own. So, do I buy it? That's the question. If they're selling it, do I buy it? But I think that's it for gigs this year. I don't think I've got any other ones booked, to be honest. Oh, Extreme are playing in December. I think they're playing in Wolverhampton. I'm tempted to go and see them because Nuno's one of the best guitarists there is. I'm not a massive Extreme fan, but I like a bunch of their stuff, so I'd like to see them live. It's another one to cross off on the 80s bingo card, I guess. Although I think Extreme are probably more 90s, aren't they? They were the tipping point. They were sort of like 88, 89 into the 90s. What else? Anyone else playing? I thought there was someone else I was tempted to go and see. Oh, Taiketo are playing in Nuneaton. Really, really close to home. So, yeah, I might go and see those. I've already seen Taiketo. There was FM, Dare, and Taiketo triple headliner at Nottingham. It's such a good gig. All of them sounded fantastic. But yeah, Taiketo. They didn't do loads of albums, but sound really, really fucking good. Carl says, I'm not. Oh, sorry, that was Darkness. Carl says, are you in a band? Playing any shows yourself? So I'm not in a band per se. I do band practice each week. We've been going for about 2 weeks now. Finding other players is really tough. Really, really tough. And I haven't really had much experience of playing with other people in a band scenario. I've been in a band before. It was a very short-lived thing when I was not long after I finished uni, which was fun. You know, we played around in Coventry for a little bit, but it wasn't really my kind of music. But I'm still in touch with the people I was in the band with, so they were a good bunch of guys. So yeah, I'm just seeing where this leads, to be honest. I might get some open mic nights out of it. I might get a bit of recording practice out of it. But playing with other people is a total different kettle of fish. I've always been a bedroom practicer. I'm not great when it comes to improv and coming up with my own stuff. I'm very much a jukebox hero with that kind of stuff. I love music theory. I love trying to read up and decipher as much music theory as possible. I can't get enough of it. I love knowing how music works and the inner workings of it. And with my guitar teacher, actually, we're going through a bunch of jazz standards at the moment, and jazz theory is just like, you know, next level shit, and that's before you even get onto stuff like fusion. But I'm not good with writing my own stuff. I'm all right at the theory. I can get my head around most of it. Obviously, I've still got a long way to go, but writing my own stuff, it's like all that theory goes out the window. So I'm looking for a bit of practice on that, really. So I'm just seeing where it goes. We're just doing some covers at the moment. We're playing stuff like For Whom the Bell Tolls, Metallica. We've got Breed by Nirvana. We've got some Audio Slave in there. I asked, we all chipped in songs when we were trying to think of a new song to practice for the second week. We all picked 2 songs each, and I picked Ace of Spades and Wild Child by Wasp. So Ace of Spades, obviously, Motorhead, and Wild Child by Wasp. And to my surprise, the rest of the group said, "Oh, let's do Wild Child," and they hadn't discussed. They don't know who Wasp is. They might have heard of them, but they've never listened to any of the music, and they all love it. And I hopefully, fingers crossed, over the course of the next few weeks, I can get them into being full-blown Wasp fans. So there's me trying to not so subtly introduce some more 80s rock, 80s heavy metal into the mix, but. Yeah, it's fun playing with the people. I've got a long way to go, so yeah, just got to get after it. How about you, dude? Are you playing any shows or anything like that? Okay, so we've been going for about an hour and 20. None of you guys have said that there's been any problems with the stream itself, so fingers crossed everything's alright. So I'm probably just going to give it just a minute or so and I'll round off. But I want to thank everyone who's jumped on tonight and got the chat going. JX for giving me the entire Wikipedia entry on Five Nights at Freddy's. We've got Carl in there, SeaWorld Man, and obviously we had Mythic Dawn join us earlier as well. So yeah, this has been cool. If this is all working, then happy days. I will be live tomorrow. Now I'll be seeing Mission Impossible. I'll be out of there at about 3:30, but I'll probably do my review in the evening. I'll probably do it around like 9-10 p.m. kind of time. So it won't be as fresh in my mind, but it's probably a better time for you guys to jump on and actually watch along to it. So yeah, Carl says stream has been great. That's really good to know. I'm going to do some research tonight as well, or maybe tomorrow, just to see if I can bring comments up on the screen. I want to know how I can get my banner back again, where I'm like, please subscribe and things like that, just so I can keep it as close to what StreamYard was like. But yeah, Seawoodman says that the stream's smooth. So yeah, this is good. Let's stick with this. Streamlabs it is. So we're going to have to say a very fond farewell to StreamYard. It does mean I get to save myself 26 quid a month though, if I don't have to pay for my membership now for that, if we're going to use this. So yeah, we're all good. We're all good. Seawoodman says keep. Oh, you're talking about the live stream? Yeah, I was going to delete this stream because, like, do people really want to go back and watch this one? It's just kind of been me talking about absolute nonsense and just treading water, running my mouth as I always do. So what have we learned at the end of this stream? Let's bring it back. We have gone through the entire calendar year of 2023 and witnessed what an absolute, more or less, train wreck it's been for film this year. But we've still got some good ones coming out, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We've got Mission Impossible tomorrow. In a couple of weeks' time, we've got the Barbie movie. We've got Oppenheimer, a new Christopher Nolan movie, so that might be good. And then we've got some interesting ones that I just want to watch towards the end of the year. You know, you got your Academy Award ones, your Oscar fodder kind of coming in towards the tail end of the year, as you always do. We've got a Disney movie that might be interesting, animated ones, and we've got something big coming in October as well, which I have alluded to. You guys can probably guess what it is. It's a massive retrospective. It's a retrospective that will probably be going on for a year, because there's just that many in the franchise. And it's been one that on previous channels that we no longer talk about, I even talked about on there wanting to do. And the time is right. It's a certain year anniversary, and we're going to start it. There's a very special day that I'm going to start it on as well. So it's going to be a lot. So that's like a year's worth of content on a retrospective right there for you. So you know what to do. You guys have already subscribed. Long-time subscribers, long-time viewers, and I appreciate all of your viewerships. Jumping on, taking time out of your Sunday evening to come and chat with me tonight. I always appreciate it. I love talking about this, streaming. It's all fun, so I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to try and get in the habit now, because there's sometimes where I'll drop off for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks and I'll come back with a video. I'm going to try and get in the habit of at least getting one live stream a week out for you guys, maybe towards like the tail end of the week. Obviously, if there's multiple films out in a week or something like that, then, you know, I'll be here for it. One thing I did want to add, by the way, if any of you guys go to Odeon and have the, I'm not endorsed by them, I swear, the My Odeon app, it's really random when they put new films up. So I always check on the Monday to see if they've squeezed any old school films on throughout the week. Because sometimes, like, I went to see First Blood. It was either last year or the year before that. I can't remember. And like I was checking on the Tuesday, there was nothing for the end of the week. I was checked on Wednesday, there was nothing for the end of the week. I checked on Thursday, and then boom, it was like, oh yeah, tomorrow night on Friday and Saturday, Rambo First Blood's on. I was like, oh great. And they've done the same today, so I've checked ahead, and there's cinema times all the way through, like in August, in September, in October, and there's a bunch of really good rescreeners that are happening too. So I'm at my 4 movie limit on the app at the moment, which will be down to 3 tomorrow once I've seen Mission Impossible. But on the 15th of August, and I don't know if this is going to be in all other cinemas as well, but if you guys go to Odeon, on the 15th of August, we've got Enter the Dragon, 50th anniversary, the Bruce Lee movie, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I don't think this is an anniversary, and the film is very slow, but nevertheless, I think it'll be a film that will be really good to see on the big screen. 22nd of August, you've got 2001: A Space Odyssey. And then on the 19th of September, and they're actually screening this film in one of the biggest screens in Odeon Cinema, because I think they're expecting that many people to go. South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. I absolutely love that movie. I haven't seen it in years, and I think that's going to pull a crowd. It's, you know, for the music and the humour in there. And Lord knows we need more films like that now that aren't afraid to go those places with its humour. And even then, there's other films that are on there too. I think Terminator 2 Judgment Day is getting another rescreening, but I've already seen that on the big screen before. You've got Grease, which I'll probably go and see. And Rocky Horror Picture Show in October, which I have seen a rescreening of before, but it's such a classic and it'll be around Halloween time, so I'll probably be at that one too. So keep an eye on your Odeon app. They like to randomly add really kick-ass movies on there. Honestly, just give me a future of rescreenings, because at least I'll know I'll like the movie, and seeing these films on the big screen is like rediscovering them for the first time. It's great. So yeah. Oh, JX says, keep this stream public. I want to show my girlfriend how much Five Nights at Freddy I got. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. He's still going. He's still going. Right, I'm going to have to cut you off, dude, I'm afraid. This has been great. Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. I always appreciate your viewership. Be here tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm going to go live. It'll either be 9 or it'll be 10. Either one. But you'll see the stream posted up on there, and we'll be talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Can't